Hey ladies, my name is Lola. I'm an addict. I just consumed a little while ago. Not proud of it. Crept up on me because my addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful. My addiction, I know my truest possible form. The way God made me, I didn't have addiction. So my addiction is actually separate from me, but it's like stuck in me. So my addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful. It's sneaky. It creeps up on me right when I think I'm doing all right and I think I'm normal. I'm finally like normal like other people. It can just come out of nowhere and like clock me over the head and blindside me. So I just consumed. I've been going through withdrawal pretty, not like super hard for the past couple days, but I took the grain out of my meal. 2 days ago. So I am going through a withdrawal from the carbohydrates. I took it out of my meal because I'm trying to drop a little bit of weight right now before my surgery, because I want the skin on my face to be as loose as possible so they can cut off as much loose skin as possible. So I'm trying to just drop about like 8 pounds before my surgery date. So I took the grain out of my meal, not out of all 3 of my meals, out of 2 of my meals. This is how my food program works. We can add and subtract things at different times, but it's expected. You're going to go through withdrawal for a couple days when you take the grain out of your meal. It's just, grains are addictive. They're a carbohydrate. They can be very addictive. At least for me they are, because I'm an addict. I'm an addict of many sorts. I'm an addict of all kinds. It's not just one thing. I'm addicted to foods. I'm addicted to alcohol. I'm addicted to narcotics. I'm addicted to men. I'm addicted to love. I'm addicted to pick-me-shit behavior. I'm addicted to certain places. I'm addicted to certain talking topics. I'm addicted to all kinds of things. I'm just a straight up addict. It's not just one thing. It's a whole bunch of things. Addiction is addiction. It comes out in different forms for different people at different times. And sometimes it'll switch from one addiction to the next, to the next, to the next, to where it will look like I'm not an addict at all, because I'm what you call a functioning addict, because I cycle my addictions. Like, I'll do one addiction for like a month, and then I'll switch it to something else, and then I'll switch it to something else. I'll just keep replacing it. So I never look that bad to everybody else. I always look like I'm doing all right. But I know myself, and I know when I'm not doing all right. Today, I literally couldn't stop myself from what I just consumed, what I just did. I could logically talk to myself about it. I knew what I was doing. I knew I was reaching for it. I knew I was going to go and consume the thing that I wasn't really supposed to be consuming. And I went ahead and I consumed it anyway. And now I'm in my car and I'm about to go out. I'm meeting John for a date, and I'm going to go act out some more. I'm going to get into some wine. I'm going to get into some food. I'm not going to do sugar and flour. I'm solid on that. I know, at least for today, I know definitely one day at a time. It's been over a decade since I've had sugar and flour, but there are other foods that I can still be addicted to. I have not hit rock bottom to where I've eaten sugar and flour, though. And that's the excuse my addict gives me when I want to go act out with, let's say, some wine, or, I want to go and take a pill or something, like nothing horrible, but the fact that, like, I'm not in pain right now. Those pills are for when I'm in pain. Oh, but why don't you just go have one just for fun? Okay, I'm not taking the whole bottle or anything like that. That's the other excuse my addict inside gives me. She says, you can have one, it's fine, and I will just have one. It's the point that I can't stop myself from having the one. And yes, when I drink wine, I don't drink too much wine to where I'm getting a DUI or anything like that. But just the fact that I can't stop myself from having 3 wines, like, why can't I just have 0? No, because I got it in my damn head today that that's what I'm going to do, and now I feel powerless to it. Ladies, it's not about the amount. It's the fact that you can't even stop yourself from doing the one. Yes, when people are in full-blown addiction where you can tell they're junkies, you can tell their life is out of control, those are the people who have 20 glasses of wine or 20 pills. Those are the people we pay attention to. Those are the addicts we notice and we say, oh yeah, that's an addict. And then there's addicts like me, and there's tons of addicts like me that exist all over the world. We're functioning addicts. We still do it, but we kind of have it contained to where nobody would really call it addiction. You know, like those people that eat fast food every freaking day or have to have coffee every freaking day, multiple times a day. Like, nobody says that's an addict because, you know, that's socially acceptable, first of all. And it's just, you know, it's just like, it doesn't look so bad. It doesn't look bad. Or people who just have a couple beers every night after work. You know, they're not getting drunk. They're just having a few beers. People think that's acceptable. But the person that is doing it would rather not be doing it, and they can't stop themselves. They're powerless to stopping and having those few beers or that couple glasses of wine, or, you know, they got to go freaking have that coffee, or they got to go have that little treat, that little snack every single day. Every time they pass by that bakery, they got to go in and they got to get the damn thing. This is like, it looks like mild addiction. Nobody pays attention to it. They don't think it's a big deal. But we live in misery too, ladies. We live in freaking misery too, because these are the little things that add up, that stop us from reaching our freaking goals. This is the stuff that stops us from living our best, sweetest lives possible, is this type of bullshit. And it's not a discipline problem. It's not like, oh, you know, I just have bad behavior. No, it's literally addiction taking over the brain and making us do this stuff when we really don't freaking want to. And we can't just talk ourselves out of it. We literally have to go to programs and do exercises and have outreach partners and do all other kinds of things to retrain our brain so we don't do that crap. And it's hard. It's really hard. And it's one of those silent kind of things that people don't take seriously. They don't think it's really addiction. It's not that bad. Oh, just try harder. The other thing with like just trying harder is that while you're in the addictive episode, you don't want to try harder. You can try harder if you actually have the desire not to, like, you know, like really not to do it. But when you're in your addictive cycle, you're like, no, I do want to do it. I do want to go consume that thing. I do want to go drink that drink. I want to go do that thing I want to do. And I don't really have something right now that makes me not want to do it. That's very small, and the desire is so much bigger. So it's like fighting against something you do want to do. And I need to talk about this right now, because you know what? This is exactly why I'm so judgmental and irritated with men and their freaking addiction to... Hold on one second. Give me a second. I gotta send John this text. So, I don't remember what the hell was I just saying. Damn, I lost myself, sorry. Oh, with men. This is the feeling men have when it comes to Smex. With their cheating and their bullshit, and they're looking at porn, and they're lying to you all the time, and sneaking around, and having these other women, and hitting on women. Like, they're being literally pulled by this invisible addictive pull that sucks them in, and they feel powerless to it. Like, they literally couldn't stop unless you showed up and clocked them over the freaking head to make them stop. And I've literally been in that situation. The first time I realized that the Smex problem men have was a true addiction is when I was with my ex. We were out at a bar in Costa Rica. I went to the bathroom. I came back. There was a half-naked girl straddling him on his lap, and he was kissing her on the mouth. He literally, like, I walked up, and I was like, stop that. What's going on? And he looked right at me, and he literally couldn't stop. He literally couldn't stop. He didn't stop. He didn't throw her off his lap. He kept engaging in the activity. Like, he literally couldn't stop. He wasn't even drinking. He wasn't even drunk. Wait, no, I think he had like one drink. It was me who wasn't drinking that night. thank God I wasn't. Something told me that night, like, don't have a drink. I don't know what came over me, but we went to a bar and I didn't have a drink. I was like, I don't know, I just have a feeling I shouldn't drink tonight, and I didn't. And thank God I didn't, because I would have reacted even worse if I was drinking. I may have gotten locked up that night. But he literally wouldn't stop kissing her, and I was literally right there, like 2 feet away, like yelling at him to stop, and he wouldn't. And like, he literally couldn't stop. Like, I thought he wouldn't stop. But the more I have learned about addiction, and the more I've studied it, and the more meetings, I've literally gone to a couple 1,000 meetings at this point, and I've read the books and I've done the programs, he couldn't stop. He knew this shit was crazy, that I was right there watching him, and he literally couldn't stop. It was so crazy. I chose to put my fist across his face about 3 times and knock his glasses off. That's the only thing that stopped him. And it was only because the girl got scared and she threw herself off his lap. She thought I was going to hurt her. And she got off his lap because, because I was punching him in the face, and his glasses flew off his face. And then I had to like drag him out of there. And then we literally had a fist fight in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Costa Rica. Like, we could have gotten locked up in Costa Rican jail. Like, it was crazy. So those were in my love addiction days that, I even cared that much about a freaking man and his bullshit. But I was a love addict, so that shit really, really, really hurt me back then. Back to the point. So this powerless feeling I'm feeling right now, related to what I just consumed. And like, I literally, like, I was going for the thing, grabbing it, putting it into my mouth, knowing the whole time, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Stop. And like, I was powerless to it. It was literally like a demonic possession. I remember back when I was bad with sugar and flour, back when I used to eat that shit, I would literally feel like I was a demon. I would get into the food. I would get into like a plate of brownies. And like, I couldn't stop. A box of Girl Scout cookies. I couldn't stop. Like, I couldn't stop until I was sick, ready to throw up. Could not stop. The addiction was so strong. I was completely powerless to that shit. This is how men feel about vagina. I'm not telling you to have a whole bunch of compassion for them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to help you understand, so you can just understand male psychology. And you can understand your own psychology. And if you have sons, I want you to be able to understand your sons so you can love them better. So you can love your sons better. So you can understand them. People with addictions, including men with their Smex addiction, need help. We all need help. We need support. We need programs and therapists and coaches and accountability partners and sponsors. We need all this. And we need to do the practices and the prayers and the meditations and all the other things the programs offer. That's the only way to stay away from this kind of stuff. It is not something a person can just cure on their own. Very, very rarely can a person just cure it on their own. And sometimes it'll look cured. Sometimes we can refrain from doing it. We can white knuckle it, and we can stay away from whatever the addictive thing is for a long time. I've literally stayed away from things for years and years and years and said, oh, you know what? I got this, man. I'm cured. I'm better. And guess what? Something like today will just pop up out of freaking nowhere, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, where did I go? Where did the new version of me go? I thought this wasn't a problem anymore, but clearly it is, because the demon just came and possessed me, and I did the damn thing. Like, wow. So just know that we can't do shit without a higher power, ladies. We really can't. And men are going through the same thing in their own form. It just happens to be that sexual things are much more addictive to them than they are to us. But if you've ever been with a box of Girl Scout cookies or a bag of Doritos or some type of narcotic substance that, maybe you've struggled with in the past, telling yourself, let me just put it down. I'll just have some more tomorrow. Hi, sweetie. My son just drove by. He's in like a Camaro right now. He just bought this cool car. He buys cars and he fixes them and sells them. He just drove by in a cool car. Okay, Oh man, what was I saying? Oh! If you've ever been with a bag of Doritos, telling yourself, oh, I'll just have a few, and then you keep having more of them, and you're like, why the hell am I doing this? You'll even start to have a stomachache, and you keep eating them, and you can't stop. Or maybe a certain narcotic. For some people, there's certain narcotics that really, they can't stop once they start. Or for some people, it's alcohol. Once they start, they can't stop. And then after, you feel so much shame and guilt, and then the shame and guilt wants to make you do something to feel better, so you go back and you do some more to cure the shame and the guilt, and it just becomes a nasty, vicious cycle. This is how men are with Smex and with corn and with their cheating and all this kind of stuff. Yes, it is still a choice. It's still a choice, because it's a choice not to get in recovery. It's a choice not to go to meetings. It's a choice not to have a sponsor. It's a choice not to get into some type of organized religion if that's the road, you know, you want to go to help yourself. You know, not everybody is into religion. I get it. But there's many other ways. Like, you don't have to go the religious route. There's other paths to the same destination of recovery and sobriety. So, yes, it's not exactly a choice. It kind of is a choice. But you're not good at making the choice when you're under the spell of addiction. It's like consenting to Smex while you're drunk. You're still making the choice. You just can't make a good choice because the alcohol is making you not good at making choices. It's kind of like that. I'm not taking responsibility off me or off men or off whoever, but I'm just trying to make you understand what it's like, so you can recognize it in other people, and you can also recognize it in yourself and in the people you care about, the people you love. Not to cut them slack and say, oh, well, they're not responsible. No, they still are freaking responsible. Like, I am responsible right now. I should be responsible to make it so this happens much less frequently. What happened today? It's up to me to be responsible to get myself to my damn meetings and do what I need to do. I haven't been going to my meetings the past several days. I've not gone in probably about 5 days. I told myself I was like going to take a break for a little while. And now I'm seeing the consequences of that. I clearly am not strong enough to take a break. Obviously not, because look at what I'm doing today. Acting like a nut job out of nowhere. And it's all triggered by that little bit of withdrawal I'm going through from taking the grain out of my meal. What the hell? Oh, it's frustrating, ladies. It's really frustrating. But you know what? It's God humbling me too. The universe, aka God or higher power, loves to humble me. Loves to just humble me when I'm out here talking all these smack about these men and how they're so out of control and all this stuff. God comes in and humbles me to balance me the F out, to remind me, hey, you got that problem too. It might not be with Smex. Oh, but you have that problem with all kinds of things. So simmer down, ladies, simmer down. You're not really that much better than them. You're human too. You have the same problem in your own form. So stop judging. Stop judging so harshly. So that's just my wake-up call from the universe. I get it. Thank you, universe. Thank you for humbling me and reminding me I'm not much better for these friggin' Smex addict dusties out here. I'm acting out in my own damn way too. I'm doing bad things in my own way too. And I don't like getting soft with myself and saying, oh, I'm just like everybody else, and you know, it's no big deal, just gotta try again tomorrow. Like, I don't like to be too soft with myself or be too compassionate, because again, my addiction will take that and run with it. She'll be like, see, it's no big deal, you can just keep doing it. And then I'll do it anymore. And then I'll do it even more. Because my addict loves to make excuses in my mind, loves to justify things, loves to let me off the hook. So I just continue the behavior. So I have to take these things seriously. I have to blow them out of proportion. I have to make them a big deal. I have to like yell at myself. I have to scold myself. And I also have to have compassion. And I have to think about why God is sending me this message right now. It's to humble me. I need to stay more neutral and more balanced. Sometimes I'm making these videos and I get all hopped up and You know, just talking about these men and what they're doing and blah, 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 blah. What about what the hell I'm doing? I'm acting out too. I'm acting out too with my own stuff, and I'm trying to act like all high and mighty, and it's, you know, typical human BS stuff. But the truth is that men act out and I act out. Men do their addictive things, I do my addictive things. And I need to not judge them as harshly. So I don't judge myself as harshly. If I can't let them off the hook, I can't let me off the hook. But then again, I don't really want to be let off the hook. Because I'm going to take it and run with it. And keep doing the damn thing. It's not easy, ladies. This life is not easy. But you know what? Sometimes it is easy. Who am I fooling? Sometimes life is really easy. You know what's easy? When I can wake up whatever the hell freaking time I want to wake up every single morning because I got men paying my bills. That's freaking easy. I love that. I like it so much. You know what's easy? Passive income. I wake up and I look at my phone, and while I'm sleeping, money's going into my account from my Airbnb properties. That's easy. I love it. Give me a second. I gotta get my GPS. Shoot. I'm going there now since that's the one I have the address for. Okay, just telling John. Okay. I gotta get some more lipstick, ladies. I ran out. I look like death right now. I look pale. All right. So those are some things that are easy in my life. I have to see I'm staying balanced. This is how I'm talking to myself to balance myself out because I'm a little hyped up over the situation right now. But I need to neutralize myself so I don't become bipolar. You can become bipolar when you're seeing too much of the good or too much of the bad and you're not in a place of neutrality. When you're neutral, you're actually mentally healthy. So to keep myself mentally healthy when things like this come up in life and my panties are in a bunch and I'm feeling, you know, like dysregulated, I'm like kind of mad at the world or mad at myself or mad at men or like I'm carrying this resentment. Resentment will make you sick. It will make you old. It will make you ugly. It will destroy your life. So balancing it out is really important. So what I'm doing right now is inner work, having this conversation out loud and having you guys witness me makes it even more powerful. I need to get to neutral here. So I need to talk about things that are easy. Things that are not easy. I just told you all the addiction stuff that I go through in my life and many people go through. That's not easy. But there are things that are also easy. So for me to sit here and cast a spell upon my life saying, it's not easy, ladies, it's not easy, life is so hard, that's bullshit. That's not true. And what's also bullshit is if I sat here and said, life is perfect, my life is so easy, it's a freaking soft life all the time, I just live in my feminine essence all the time and everything just flows naturally and everything is perfect, that's bullshit too. That's a freaking lie. That's a lie from the pits of hell. Both of those things are a lie. The truth is that some things about my life are super easy. I just listed a couple. And some things like dealing with an addicted brain are not easy. But when you merge them both together, you get a real life. And guess what? Your life is part good and part bad. Part easy, part difficult. Part happy, part sad. And that's the truth. That's reality. That's living in reality right there. You know what? Men are part good and part bad. They're really fucking bad when they're lying to us and driving us absolutely insane. And when they're cheating and being cheap and doing all this other stuff, when they're being filthy, when their breath stinks, when their toenails are crusty. Yeah, that's when they're bad. That's when they're bad. And you know when they're good? When they're paying my bills, they're good. when they're putting my children through school, when they are fixing my car, when they're taking me out nice places, when they're doing romantic things that stroke my ego, especially when they do romantic things in public where other people can see and I get to be like the star of my show, and you know, like my head is getting all gassed up and big, and yeah, they're good when they're doing stuff like that. So the truth is, men are good and they're bad. Just like me, I am good and I'm bad. That's the truth of life. All this other stuff we hear out here is imbalanced perspectives. Let me get a little air. Give me a second. I just don't want to turn the AC on because I have the phone right by the vent and I don't want it to be too loud for you guys. Let me just cool off with a little air. All right, so the truth of life, and I need to speak this out loud. I need to speak this out loud, ladies. Words are spells, especially for me. I'm a manifesting generator, and I have all those numbers and everything else, and my open centers this and that. I don't know all the words for it, but from the appointments I've had with people that have explained all that to me, it's very important that for me, especially for the type of person I am, my type of astrology, and me being a manifesting generator and all the things about it, it's very important for me to be careful with my words. They affect me very, very much, apparently. So I need to be careful when I'm making verbal statements like, oh, this life is hard, or even when I say, oh, life is so easy. I need to be careful with both of those. Right after I speak some words like that, I need to speak the other words to balance myself out and keep me neutral. Because when I'm neutral, I'm in a mentally healthy state. I can see life and see people for what it really is, for what they really are, instead of being in a delusional state. It's very easy to live in a delusional state when you're going too far in either direction. But there are times it's good to let yourself get into a delusional state. I do it on purpose when I'm trying to manifest. Getting as delusional as possible to get yourself into the feeling of having the thing you're trying to manifest. That works wonders, but you also have to understand how it works, and getting delusional in the wrong situation can cause you a lot of problems. Like, for instance, being delusional about a particular man you have a crush on. Oh, that could wind you up in a very bad spot, because you won't be able to see any red flags because you're in a delusional state, seeing way more good than bad, only being able to see the positive and not being able to see the negative. So it's important to know when you're in a delusional state, how you get to the delusional state and the benefits of doing it, because you can use it as a tool, another tool in your toolbox. You can use putting yourself into a polarized, not neutral, delusional state if you want to use it to manifest. It's very important to be able to know how to do that, but you also need to know how to take yourself out, so you actually have control of your mind and the delusion. This will also help you learn how to have control over your perceptions. And the reason you need control over your perceptions is because all your emotions come from your perceptions. So once you know how to control this, you have mind control over yourself. And the little sneaky part too is that if you know how to control your own mind, you also know how to control minds in general. You can control other people's mind. Not completely control their mind, but you can have a great amount of influence over another person's mind. And that can come in handy. That can definitely come in handy, especially when you're dating these men. Especially if they don't know about mind control, if they don't know how it works, you'll be able to do it to them, and they won't be able to do it to you. They won't know you're doing it to them. And you can be the more powerful one in the situation. But the thing with that is that you actually have to genuinely be a good person that is not full of a bunch of malice and hate. You have to be like a responsible person that is generally a decent human being to be walking around using these skills. Because if you're more on the dark side and you really don't care about people, you could use it to really harm people. And we don't want to use our powers to harm people. Ladies, that's not what we try to do. Even when we're dealing with men, the things we do with them, it's not to hurt them. it actually helps them. It helps them become better men that they can be proud of. If you just want to use mind control techniques because you just want to hurt people and scam them and rip them off and leave them in a worse position than when you started with them, that's, okay, one, that's not good for your soul. It's not good for humanity. It's not good for the other person. You don't need to do all that. You can be a decent human being and use mind control and help yourself and also help that person. Okay? You can help them be who they actually really truly want to be. And men really truly want to be providers. They want to be strong. They want to be capable. And you need to do these kind of things with a good intention, with a positive white light type of intention. Try not to do things from the evil side, because we all have an evil side, and try not to feed into that bullshit. That's not good for you. It's not good for people. It's not good for them. Like, as you learn these things, I would personally recommend you should use your powers for good, not evil. You should be wanting to make the world a better place for you, for me, the entire human race. Is that how that song goes? I just remembered the lyrics. So you know what I'm trying to say. Be nice, you know. Sometimes being nice might actually look cruel in the beginning, but in the end, it's not so bad. It's actually really good for them. Like when we're dealing with men, sometimes we have to be ways that seem cruel, like not give them what they want. Make them chase, make them suffer a bit because they want you and they can't have you. That's okay, because in the end, it's all going to be worth it. It's all going to be worth it. They're going to be very pleased with themselves. They're going to have better self-esteem because of it. But you just need to have the long vision. The long vision. You can see the whole story, not just today and tomorrow and next week, but you're looking weeks, months, years down the road. That's goddess thinking right there, ladies. Having long-term vision. Okay, I'm feeling much better now. I really needed to talk about those things. I needed to admit those things out loud. I'm going through a little addictive spell right now. I'll be okay. I know myself. But I can't just sit here in isolation and deal with it inside of my own mind. Addiction grows in isolation. It grows in isolation. You have to reach out. You have to talk to people. You have to acknowledge. You have to neutralize your emotions and your perceptions at the time. You have to get other people involved. Get qualified people involved, like sponsors and coaches and therapists and other people that truly know how to manage these type of things. Because if you're having an addiction problem with any type of addiction and you go to like a well-meaning friend who's also an addict themselves, they won't even really know they're an addict a lot of times. They'll try to help you and they'll give you really bad advice that could just make it worse. So make sure you're talking to people that know what they're talking about. And they have meetings for all these kind of things, ladies. There's meetings. You have to search it online, look for it online. You'll find it. There's meetings for everything. And a lot of these things are free. Yes, there's a lot of paid programs too. I've taken all types of programs. But for people that are just starting out, join all the free meetings. So many good meetings out there. So many good people that can really help you out if you're going through anything like this. And I assume if you're human, you probably are understanding what I'm talking about right now. Maybe not the whole thing, but if you're a human, you've had these feelings, you've had these type of issues at least at some point in your life. So you should know exactly what I'm talking about, or it should at least sound familiar. And if pretty much none of it makes sense to you right now, let it just sit in the back of your mind. Take it as a seed planted. And I just planted a little tiny seed in the back of your mind. You save it for when you need it, because at some point something will come up and you'll remember some of the things I said and you'll be able to help yourself. You'll say, oh, now I think I know what she was talking about. Okay, that's what I'm experiencing right now. And then you'll you'll have a more clear understanding of yourself, or maybe somebody you care about is going through this, and at least you'll know where to look for help. You'll know what you should search for online to get yourself some help. Okay? It's all about leveling up, ladies. And you know what? I had to keep telling myself this because part of my addiction is perfectionism. I expect fucking excellence all the time. Yes, from men, but also from myself. Like, I keep that standard for myself. And I know it's unrealistic to be perfect. I get it. But part of my addiction is trying to, like, really, like, do it great. Do everything great. And I have to remember, I'm seeking progress, not perfection. And even when I fall, like today I fell out of sobriety in one of the areas of my life. And I don't fall out of sobriety in this area of my life very often at all. If I look at the whole calendar for the whole year, maybe like 4 times a year, I mess up in this department. So if I think about it, that's 361 days a year I do great. And like 4 days, not so great. The addiction won today. Next year, maybe it'll only be 3 days or 2 days. Maybe I'll go like 2 or 3 years without a slip. Who knows? I used to slip with all kinds of things every day, multiple times a day. I would have slips with all the things I was trying to refrain from doing. Most of my days now are close to flawless. I have to remember that and keep it all in perspective so I don't beat myself up. But also, I don't want to be too loose and allow too much of this behavior. I need to address it and get on top of it immediately. Take it seriously. Why? Because it's part of loving myself. Taking these slip-ups seriously is part of loving myself, because literally nobody is going to sit here and follow me around all day and take inventory of what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm consuming, where I'm going, what type of behaviors I'm doing. And nobody's going to do that for me. It's my job. It's my job to watch myself, to watch over myself, hold myself accountable. People are not going to do it for me. Seriously, like, this is how I love myself. I have to be this way with myself, because nobody's going to do this for me. Absolutely not. They're not going to, unfortunately. But I got to do it. And literally, nobody in this world loves me enough to do it for me. So I have to love me enough to do it for me. And when I'm really loving myself, holding myself accountable, watching myself, being vigilant, cracking the whip on myself, admitting and reaching out for help when I don't do it right, when I do all of that, I feel loved by me. And when I feel loved by me, guess what? The desire to go chase love from a man becomes very, very small. Becomes very small. His love is not so great because the love I have for myself is freaking huge. I got to keep loving myself. And I don't love myself every day, ladies. No, there are days it looks like I freaking don't love myself at all. There are days it doesn't look like I love myself at all. Those are very sad days. But I got to keep giving myself chances, ladies. I have to. Why? Because I love me. Freaking love myself. I got to keep giving myself chances. Keep trying again, even if I didn't do it right yesterday. Get up. You wake up, your eyes are open, the sun is shining. Every day you look at the sky and the sun is shining. You know what that means? You have another chance. The sun is shining. Oh my God, I have another chance. The universe, aka God, higher power, is so freaking generous. No matter what you've done in this life, what you haven't done, what you have or have not done, you're still worthy enough to get another chance to try to make it right. So that's all I have to say for now. Ladies, thank you so much for being here while I go through my stuff. I'm going through human things. I'm becoming the next level version of myself. Sometimes I slip, sometimes I don't slip for a long time. I need to be humble. I need to not judge men so harshly. It doesn't mean I'm going to let them do bad things to me. No, hell no. But I need to be realistic. I act out just like they act out. I do messed up shit. They do messed up shit. I'm not perfect. And I just need to be realistic. And I will go through this the rest of my life. Because I think it's just part of life. It's just part of being human. We're going to have up days and down days. We're going to have sober times in our life. We're going to have unsober times in our lives. I need to keep balancing myself out, getting myself back to neutral. Because imbalanced perspectives can make us very, very sick. I don't want to be sick. I like being healthy. And I'm just grateful that you guys are here for me to observe me in my journey. And I hope my journey can help you in yours. Okay, ladies, I got to go get on my date with John. I think I'm at the right place. I'll try to record some of the date. He's going to bring the flowers to me that he needs to give me because he sent me those ugly 7 flowers to my house. Now he's got to make up for that. It was a huge mistake on his part and he needs to correct it. Okay. All right, ladies, talk to you later. Bye for now.